So right here, Lori Girl at Lori's Journey. Follow me, like, subscribe. Came for a walk out here on the beach at Puerto Peñasco. It's actually a pretty nice morning. Took this little walk and I feel like I need to take my sweatshirt off now because, you get the body going. It warms up nicely. And I'm here at Playa de Oro, La Mirador area. I don't know them intricately like all the locals here, and sitting down, and I was like excited. My little find all these little dainty things. They're just so cute. Look at how tiny these are. And this little one is like probably a baby one to that one. I don't know what kind of creatures live in these ones, but I've always found them pretty fascinating. So maybe somebody out there who knows what this is, you can write it down what kind of sea creature lives in that shell. And then, we have some just regular seashells here. These are smaller ones. You go down to the different parts of the beach. I know that sand dollars are prevalent out here, which are really cool. I don't see any out here, but there's just different parts of the ocean that you can find them at. But yeah, good morning. It's a Saturday. I'm just out here enjoying the ocean. And if people know me, this is, coming down here through a really difficult time in my life. This was my serenity. All I would do, I'd come and stay with friends, and I'd wake up in the morning, maybe have something to eat, put on my bathing suit, like when it was during the summer, shoot down here, and I'd spend all day here at the beach. I like to lay out, so I wouldn't have an umbrella. Shame on me, right? I wouldn't have an umbrella, and I would just come out here and watch people, watch family, watch the wildlife, because there's a lot of seagulls and pelicans, and sometimes you see dolphins out here. January, February is a time for whale watching. So if you ever want to come out and watch some whales, you can pay for an excursion to do that. And from what I know, some of the vendors out here that do that, they don't disappoint the people, which is cool to know, and I haven't done that yet, but I want to. But there's just something about the ocean. Absolutely. And I don't know what to explain. And a lot of people, they feel the same way. They feel connected. And I'm water, so growing up, if it was hot, we were out there on the asphalt, concrete with the water hose and the sprinkler in the yard, or I would just lay out on the concrete and let the water just run down the sidewalk to the street, and it was in my head, and I'd get all this dirt and pebbles and gravel from my driveway or whatnot, but I didn't care because I've always just been water, in the pools. You invite me to a pool party? Heck yeah, I was there, my little chubby self, because I've never been this skinny person, and I didn't care, Of course, when you grow up and you get to that age when you're about 13, 14, then you do care. And then about when I turned 50, which is almost 9 years ago, I'd gotten to the point where I didn't care. So I actually started wearing bathing suits without shorts, and I even daunted some two pieces, and I was like, I don't care, I'm 50, it's not like it. And so now that I'm closer to 60, I still don't care. It's all about being comfortable in your skin, being comfortable with who you are. And in my mid 40s, I actually really started working on learning to love myself. That is a really hard thing to do for a lot of people. And if this resonates with you about learning to love yourself, look, write a comment down below, or I'll have to post my email. You can share stories with me. I'd be glad to hear them. And remember to like and subscribe, as I take you on this journey with me, because at this age, being single after being married for 36 years, it's really daunting. But I try my best to go back to my foundational, which is, the Word of God, and really trying to cling on to God and, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, but part of my healing has been to come out here to the ocean. And I started really coming out here constantly. I want to say beginning, and I can't remember. It was 2016 when we did our first girls trip with my cousin, um, who at that time she owns a condo in the more fancy side, and we'd come up for a big girls trip. You know, it's a 2-bedroom house condo on the 7th floor. It'd be like, I don't know, anywhere between like on the average 20 women's bodies just crashed all over that condo, air mattresses, couches. A lot of times people step on the patio, and we'd come and have a good time, you know, and cry with each other, laugh with each other, danced. Oh my gosh, just danced. And one of the times they had told me, you know, Lori, you got to take a shot. You got to. And I'm like, okay. I said, I'll take a shot of liquor with you guys, but you have to dance with me on the beach. And they're like, okay. Because, you know, I didn't drink. And they danced with me on the beach. And we had this big beach party. And we were doing line dances because I had just learned a few line dances. Well, some of the ones, I mean, Cupid Shuffle, Electric Slide, you know, the just the regular ones. And then it was funny because this man comes and he's like, hey, can I dance with you guys? And it's all of us there. It's probably about 9 of us girls there on the beach. And we're like, yeah. He's like, but I don't know this. Can you teach me? And I go, heck yeah. You know, yeah, just right here. I'll call out the moves. And he's like, okay. He says, because my wife dared me. He says, and she said, if you go dance with those girls, I'll buy you drinks for the rest of the day. It's on me. And he's like, oh, heck yeah. So he came and he asked. And he sat there. He ended up dancing with us. I don't know how many line dances he did with us. And then when we just put on music, we stayed out there dancing, and guess what? He stayed out there dancing with us, and we had so much fun. And then later on, I'm going to turn here so you can get a view of the ocean as I talk. And then later on, you know, he saw us at the pool, and then some other people did, and they're like, hey, are you guys the ones that you were all the girls that were dancing on the beach? And we're like, yeah. And then after that, you know, I'm sure my family realized that, you know, it doesn't take any alcohol in me to go dance and have a good time, because when people who know me, they know that I like to do karaoke, but I like to dance more than anything else. So at this point, it was just so much fun. So being out here is just kind of my serenity, you know, going back to the ocean and what I love about it. And I've made it a quest of my own, just a little goal that every ocean, every beach that I go to, I'm going to dance on. And I'm so disappointed in myself because I've been to the Dominican Republic twice, 2 times, and I still never got my dance on the beach. And I'm going to hold my lifelong friend accountable to that, Miss Becky, because I went with her both times, and I should have had her be my videographer, and I didn't. And I need to go back just to get a dance on the beach there. But I love that place, and I'd gladly go back. We talk about it all the time. It's like, yeah, I want to go back. Yeah, me too. But when I was on Catalina Islands, absolutely, of course, Pacific on Venice Beach. I've got some video there. It's on my TikTok. And then my cousin Star went with me. We went to Puerto Vallarta last summer, and she was my awesome videographer. And I got some footage of me dancing on the beach there in Puerto Vallarta. I've done several here at Puerto Peñasco. And so, I mean, dancing, I love it. But being at the beach, I could just sit here and listen to the waves all day. And if you've ever seen Moana, I mean, some of you guys have, I'm sure. And my granddaughter just loves that movie. She loved it at one point. You know, they go through their seasons, but there's a song in there, and it talks about how the ocean calls her. So I always mess around with my family, and I'm like, I don't know all the lyrics. I'm gonna have to learn that one. I'm gonna have to make it one of my karaoke songs. But she's talking about the ocean, and part of the chorus is "It calls me," and I'm like, "It calls me." So that's the way I feel about the ocean. I could just sit here all day. And when I was going through that difficult time in my life, this was my healing place. And when I would stay with my friends here, like I said, I'd get up, I'd eat something, and I'd be gone all day. And one of my friends would call me and say, "Hey, are you good? You know, do you need something to eat?" And I'm like, "No, I've already eaten." And when I would stay there, I mean, they find me crashed out. I mean, I'd be out for the day because I'd spent the day all at the water, watching, like I said, watching people, just listening to the waves. Sometimes I had music, sometimes I didn't. But there's always a go-to place. There's always a place for healing. There's always a place that you go that you just feel the peace of God. You feel like you connect with whatever that element is. I love mountains as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, um, we're kind of upset with ourselves because we haven't gone camping in the last couple of years. So we're going to make it our priority this coming summer for 2026 to throw a camping trip in there. And I've taken my kids up into like really fancy cabins, and they're like, we want to go camping. This cabin is really nice. Yeah, the jets and the tubs are nice, but can we just go back to camping and be in a tent and set up? That way we hear all the sounds of the going on. And I'm like, wow. And, camping was a really, really affordable way to escape the city. And we used to do it all the time. So my kids know how to set up a camp. Let me tell you, my kids know how to set up a camp. But that's another segment. But I just wanted to share this with you because being out here at the ocean, it just does something to me. It's refreshing. It's replenishing. It's my refill. It's my reset button. It's my restoration place. And if you feel that it resonates you, like this video, and add a comment. Yeah, send me more, make more. And because I'm just here to share this journey with you. There's a lot of people out there that are sharing journeys, but I want to speak some truth, but I'm just giving you a little bit of some backdrop, before I go into depth with some stories of experiences and difficulties, challenges, victories, that I've lived and that I want to share. And I think it's time to share. And just know I'm actually working on a book right now. I'm not going to disclose the title because I've been told that it's a really, really alluring title. And I'm like, okay, I guess it is. But I'm working on a book. And I want to do some travel this year. And I want to take you on that journey with me as well. So you know what? I don't want to take up too much time, but just know that one thing to know about me is the ocean. The ocean is one of my greatest places to really connect to God, to connect to myself. When I'm here, it's that's what I do. And I know there's a lot of people that share in that and that sentiment. So, anyways, hey, it's all good. Remember, if this resonates with you, help me, follow my journey. Give me feedback. If you say, oh, Lord, this is lame. This is boring. It's okay. I'll work on it. But I just want to share my journey with you. So don't forget Lori Girl from Phoenix, Arizona, at Lori's Journey. If you like this, like and subscribe, follow me, and share it too. All right. I'll be sharing this on social media as well. Have a blessed day.